So you did a huge reel with the wife of Messi. By the way, how many views it got?
I got over 1 billion views.
What are some tips that you can share with the audience that help you to get to where you are today?
When you're doing content, try to give something in each clip that you do. You have to figure out what you're giving.
If you have 30 seconds, how would you make it viral?
I try to do something extreme, something interesting, something that shocks the conscious.
What would you tell that guy or that girl on how can they be more confident right now?
Only thing that you need to do is rely on God properly and not rely on anything else, and that will give you the extreme confidence and extreme joy and extreme courage to go and fulfill your mission in this world.
Meet Ziv Tamir, also known as The Watch Guy, an entrepreneur, content creator, and founder of the Tamir Educational School of Trade, whose viral videos have racked up over 1 billion views.
What's going on, friends? Thank you so much for tuning in to another great episode of Tom Talk Success, where my goal is to introduce you guys that literally the most successful entrepreneurs here and all around the world. And today I have a true pleasure to introduce such a great friend of mine, a good man that achieved a lot of his life, Ziv the Watch Guy. Thank you so much, man. Welcome to the show. How's your day going?
Thank you so much for having me, Tom. My day is better and better, especially now that I'm here.
I love it. I love it.
With you.
Man, what an exciting. So we've been trying to do it for quite some time right now. And you were busy with your stuff, so I appreciate you coming in. Man, what's exciting about podcasts? What's exciting about you to share with the people that people don't know about you?
You know, I'm actually really excited about sharing on podcasts in general. I haven't been on many podcasts at all. As you know, you've asked me about this over a year ago. But when I told Moshe that when we do start with podcasts, we're going to start with Tom.
God bless you, man.
You know, I really love the work that you do. And I'm excited to share and give value to some of the behind the scenes things that make me tick, so that other people can learn and benefit from it as well.
I love it. Ziv, so, when I posted you earlier today, a lot of people were asking me, Tom, how are you able to get, Ziv the Watch Guy? He's so famous, he's getting a lot of views. Ziv, what is it about me? Because a lot of the audience curious that may just say, you know what, I'm going to come to the podcast.
You know, Tom, it's something about your energy. I really feel the love that you have ever since the first time. I think the first time I met you, was it possible I met you at the Billionaires Conference?
Something
Wall
like
Street?
that. Yeah.
What was that?
I think it was one of the conferences for
one of
sure.
the cool conferences where I was with Kevin O'Leary. I think maybe you were there, or I also met you once at another special fundraiser.
Correct.
For a special cause, which was Chazak organization.
Correct.
And a very big part of my philosophy is living is giving. I got that from Tony Robbins in person when he told me his secret, one of his top secrets to success. And when we meet at organizations that we're all about giving and sharing, it's just like, how can I say no? Because I believe in not only giving with your money, but also giving from your time so that you can help other people.
I love it, brother. Thank you so much for coming. So Ziv, let's talk about your upbringing. Were you always that successful? Obviously, you built a massive page with hundreds of thousands of followers. How did you get to the idea? Like, was like one day, like, screw everybody, I want to be a content creator? How does it came about?
It's a very good question. I remember at one point, I actually hired my younger brother. He's a coach.
Oh, wow.
And I hired him, and he asked me what my goal and my mission was, and I was like, I want to be an influencer.
Wow.
And it was kind of like almost saying it was like a taboo, because like it's just like it's like someone saying that they want to be a Hollywood actor. So it's just saying it at the time was just so out of the box. He's like, really? I never knew that about you. I'm like, yeah, and I think that I'll be able to reach more people by being an influencer, in order to support my business of buying, selling, trading watches, but more importantly, of the business that I have where I teach people the watch trade. I have a something called Tamir Educational School of Trade, where I teach people how to buy, sell, and trade high-end watches and jewelry.
I love that. So when you started, with your social media, what are some tips that you can share with the audience that help you to get to where you are today?
Okay, that's a good question as well. So tips on how to go viral when you're doing content, try to give something in each clip that you do. You have to figure out what you're giving, right? So, like for example, in my videos, there's so much education going on the current watch market, on, like, for example, when I say, hey, excuse me, kind sir, I absolutely love your 116503 two-tone Daytona, right? So people are seeing the Daytona on someone's wrist like this, right? They're like, oh, that's what a Daytona looks like on someone's wrist. And that's cool. I'm around the same height, same size. Maybe that's what it would like sort of look like on me. You know what I mean? Then they look up the model number 116503.
Wow.
They're learning suddenly about these model numbers. So you try to teach them something in each clip.
So that's the idea of your clips. You were trying to teach people like, hey, this is what they have on.
In a fun way, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's a problem because you don't always actually get to see what watches look like on people. And a lot of watches are not available at the authorized dealers or available to see. So here's a chance for people to see what it looks like on.
How do you deal with people that give you bad time when you come up to them? Real quick, before we keep with this episode, if you are watching this and you are building a business or a brand and you got a story people need to hear, for the first time I'm opening spots for guests to join my podcast. Here is what you will get. We film the full episode in the studio and my team takes care of literally everything, the editing, the posting, all of it totally for you guys. In addition, you'll get between 3 to 5 reels from the episode and we'll also collab together on social media so you can get even more exposure. If you want to be on, comment podcast in the comment section below and my team will reach out to you. Now let's get back to the episode.
So you're saying is, by the way, it like someone who has a negative attitude towards the idea?
Correct.
You know, there's nothing, I don't take it personally. I've been doing sales for 20 years and every single person has their days and have their different moods and different styles. And I totally respect someone who doesn't want to participate.
That's amazing. And what is the about you that doesn't take it personally? Because I know, most of us, we are take things personal. How we can get to the point where, when people are negative towards us, when people are just trying to be rude to us, how do we not take it personal?
Okay, so one of the big things about sales in general, and again, my background has always been in sales, have a love for the science of selling, and it's a numbers game, right? So when you're doing I always knew doing sales is that, each person who says no is closer to the person that says yes. And eventually after doing sales for like a year and you're doing 30 calls a day and you realize you're closing 3 sales per day, right? That means you're closing 1 out of 10. So if you do 30 sales per hour, you'll close 3 sales per hour, right? So it's a numbers game, and when you go up to people and one person says no, you're going to get closer to the next person that says yes.
What would you tell to people that look at you and say, you know what, Ziv has so much energy, so much confidence, he's always happy, always, reaching out to people, and they want to be also like that, but they don't have the courage, they don't know how to do it. What would you tell them?
That's a very, I'll give you a spiritual answer for that.
Yep.
Because I'm a very big believer in the book called Shara Bitachon, which is having relying on God, right? So it's a certain, and in this book it explains that when you rely on God, that is the key to being always with joy and confidence and happiness, because you know that you are never alone. Because when you know that you are with God always, and everything that you do is together with God, then you will feel more confident in anything you do, and you know that this is part of your mission.
So let's talk about God. How God important to us in our day-to-day life?
So God is everything. If you anyone who studies the Tanya or any Hasidus or mysticism will learn that there is really nothing in this world besides for God, right?
Wow.
So God is everything, right? But at the same time, because God is everything, God needs us to identify him and make him, because everything is also nothing.
I see.
Okay?
That's interesting.
So if you have everything, you have nothing. So you need to go and you have to realize that there's nothing besides for God, and then you're like your potential. Everything you see is pure potential, right? So you can take something, and what you do with when you open a business. So you're opening a business and you're saying, this is the name of the business, this is the logo, this is the sign. So you're taking godliness and you're turning it into like a vessel for business. And of course you want to align with all the morals that go with business and do it in God's way.
I love it. I love it. So obviously, we're both Jewish, and you are going with the kippah. And I want to ask you, when you walk out with it, have you? I know we live in a very, Jewish supportive and, God bless Florida, God bless Miami. But have you experienced anything that kind of like, was involving like towards a hate towards you being Jewish?
Absolutely. So, there have been times where people, for example, would say something like free Palestine, right? And my response, and they have a right to say what they want.
Correct.
And my response is absolutely, I agree with you. Free Palestine from Hamas. It's obviously some type of misunderstanding, and sometimes there needs to be education of what
Correct.
is actually what we're dealing with. And usually, any anti-Semitism or something like that comes usually from ignorance. So I always treat that with love, and usually they end up being the sweetest people. That once they're informed, we completely end up being great friends.
And that's the sad part about it. There's so much, like fake news and fake things, and people just believe whatever they see, but nobody really want to take it. I would say, if you hear somebody actually told me the other day, if somebody were said bad stuff about Chipotle, and all you listen is about that guy saying bad stuff, like eventually you're just gonna believe in that.
Right.
But if you look at the other people that like it, then that will give you a different perspective.
And I heard that it's run now by the CEO of Starbucks.
Something like that.
Something like Chipotle. I don't know. The Starbucks now is run by
A guy, correct.
From,
a guy that
that's
used to be
amazing.
in Chipotle. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Chipotle because it's not kosher, but
Correct.
I heard like some great stuff. They're
Yeah,
doing great
it's a
marketing.
good spice.
And he said, if you want more, ask for more.
Yeah, something like that. Question, Ziv. So, looking back at your life, man, what was your hardest moment? Like, what is something that people don't know about you?
So I dealt with loss and with trauma, and when I was and that's something that always that I had to live with. When I was 12 years old, my nephew drowned, and I was the one that found him in the pool.
Wow, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so it was that was something
Rest in
that was
peace.
just it's just for a 12-year-old to handle was just absolutely heartbreaking, and it's something that I think that a big part of the empathy that I have and sympathy that I have for people comes from there,
Wow.
and also looking at the world in as a big picture of and like sort of like a lot of people ask me why I'm so calm in tough situations and businesses, because nothing really could compare, God forbid, to that.
How important is this in our life to take things in the right situation, meaning not to be overstressed, not to be over worried, because I know most of us, I know about me that sometimes I also get caught up to that. What would you do to be to be less stressed?
That's an excellent question. And, I have a friend, his name is Gedalia Fenster. You heard of him? You should have him on this podcast.
I think I've heard about him. I don't know him.
He's a great guy, and he's a modern rabbi, and he has great philosophies, and he teaches awesome philosophies from Reb Nachman, right? And I was at one of his lectures, and he gave an awesome lecture about, like, if you're stressed, if you have anxiety, right? It's almost the same feelings as you have when you're excited. When you're scared, and excitement is very, very similar, right? So instead of being like, if you're starting your day working, and you're going out to business, and you feel like you're going out to war, and you don't know if you're going to win or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could either say I'm scared, or you could be like, I'm excited to see what the result is. And again, go back to relying on God and knowing that God's with you. Then you're really excited.
So I want to talk to you about a great point here. So, people always ask me, Tom, how do you bring like a very like well-known speakers and like very wealthy people that have tremendous amount of success? And they were like, hey, is this because the views, or is this because you? And I like to ask, because I get like tons of different answers from my guest speakers. And I want to ask you, if you were in my position, what would you tell to the audience like about the confidence? For example, when I came to you and I approached you, I didn't know at that time, hey, will Ziv come, or will Ziv check my audience, or will that be enough? How important is to sometimes not overthink and just do it?
I'll tell you something that I learned from Uncle G, Grant Cardone.
I love him. Yeah, great mentor of mine. Hopefully he's going to come soon. Yep.
He's a legend. I love all of his work.
I love him.
And and he said that follow-up is like the mother of all sales techniques. So if there's one thing that you'll learn is follow up, and you happen to be excellent at following up.
I appreciate that, my
And
friend.
also you do it in a way that's just it's not an annoying way of following up. It's very like you're always coming back with interesting, different angles of. So I think that your follow-up was amazing. Like I saw you here, I saw you there. You know what I mean? Or you sent me a nice clip of someone else great that you've done. I think you've done Mr. Toledano.
Yeah, he came
and so
on.
you sent me that clip. So you're showing like it was a nice way of following up, and I think that people can take that is that if you follow up and if you're prepared for your sale, you'll be confident.
Somebody that watching both of us right now, and he was like, gosh, like if I can be or Ziv or Tom and have this confidence, I'll make so much things. I'll be able to skyrocket my business, etc. But he's not confident. What would you tell that guy or that girl on how can they be more confident right now?
So I would tell them to look up this book that's called Shar HaBitachon.
Wow.
Which is there's also, they have it in English translated as well. And it's a very easy to read book. But I think that the book, if you read it carefully, it rewires your entire brain. And
Wow.
your system, it's like, because it's so analytical and it breaks it down almost like to the extent that like it could almost feel like it's just repetitive, but it's like a program that they're reprogramming your brain to be like, the only thing that you need to do is rely on God properly and not rely on anything else. And that will give you the extreme confidence and the extreme joy and extreme courage to go and fulfill your mission in this world.
So I'll tell to the audience something that I love about Ziv. So we were filming this quick clip, and that's a tremendous example of why some people are overthinking stuff and why Ziv became Ziv. Because we posted this video, I had this idea, we kind of catched it up, and you told me, hey, do it. And I was like, sure. Ziv telling me he knows he's doing it all the time. I'm just going to film it. I'm asking Ziv, hey, should I edit? Should I do it? Nah, just post it.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, why do you overthink it? Like, just post it.
Right.
See what happens. If people don't like it, screw it.
Exactly.
If people like it, God bless.
Exactly.
Why, like, how are you were able to get to the point where you don't care? Because a lot of people care about what they see.
Right. So one day it dawned on me that there's over 8 billion people on planet Earth, and most of them have access to the internet. And basically, there's so many people that are out there, right? And if your reel is good, it will go. If nobody sees it, then you have nothing to worry about because nobody saw it anyway. You know what I mean? And if it's worthwhile, people will see it, and great, and you just move on with life. And it's not the biggest deal in the world.
So you did a huge reel with the wife of Messi. Talk to us about that. How did you, did you just watch her and you were like, hey, I have to approach it. I have to do this clip. This is something going to go crazy. What was the story there?
So one of the things.
By the way, how many views it got?
It got over 1 billion views.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
over 1 billion views right here.
Over 1 billion views if you add up the videos. Like on my
Yeah,
TikTok,
yeah,
it got
yeah,
like 40, 50 million.
Wow.
My Instagram was 40 million, but all the places that shared, they were all getting 10 million views, 20 million views.
Talk to us
ESPN
about this
shared.
story.
So that story is, I actually do marketing. I do beast mode marketing. People can call me and ask me to do marketing for them. You might have seen some of the marketing that I've been doing for this amazing company, Shop Bids, right?
Yep.
Or you might have seen, even Holy Toast, where we have the special Ziv the Watch Guy sandwich. It's something
that's
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, it's Ziv the Watch Guy Holy Schnitzel, Holy Roly. Dude, and like I'm gonna use the Chipotle guys thing is like if you want it more spicy, ask for jalapeno.
That's crazy.
No, but basically, Tiffany Co invited me to one of their parties.
Because of that video.
Yes. Tiffany Co invited me to one of their parties.
Oh.
Right. And the idea is that there were different people there at the party that were influencers, right? So I went around doing taking videos of them. The point of the video was to get out that Tiffany Co also has watches. Right. And
So you were trying to help them.
yes, absolutely.
Back to helping other people.
Absolutely, helping Tiffany Co, right? And basically, so then I was speaking to someone at Tiffany Co, and they're like telling me like this is that. They're telling me different people of who's who, and someone told me, oh, that's Antonella, and I have no idea who Antonella was, right? Because she doesn't go by the last name Messi either. It was Antonella Roccuzzo, I think. And I said that she was among the 5 other people that I took videos of. All super sweet, nice people. And I took those videos, and when I posted it, suddenly it just started going viral like crazy, right? And I spoke to people at Tiffany, and they said that ever since that video got posted, they've been getting orders like crazy. People coming to the store asking for that specific Tiffany rope watch, and so we really did a great job.
That's amazing. Now, I'm sitting here watching it, and I'm like, this guy has so much courage to go to literally Leo Messi, wife, one of the most famous people all around the world, without script, without just go. What is it about Ziv that can do that?
I think that I think that I have I love people. So I think that if your energy carries, so if someone sees that you're coming in good faith and you mean well, they'll reciprocate. I believe in something called Kemayim apanim lapanim kein lev ha'adam la'adam. The same way the face, when you look into the mirror, when you look into the water, you see your face reflecting. I believe hearts feel the same way. So if you're coming in with good intentions, people will get that vibe.
I love it, man. I love it. So what is the one thing that helped you the most with social media in today's days?
So in today's day and age, we have a business that we buy and sell high-end watches.
Correct.
Right? So becoming well-known and becoming famous has helped my business tremendously. It's the amount of customers that come in through our door daily is hundreds. So and we're selling watches, shipping them out from all over Florida, from New York, and we have we have a tried and true system to get you the best deal on any watch that you need, and we constantly have new people coming in to learn the business, and that we're teaching them the tried and true ways of how to be killers.
Now, Ziv, you mentioned to me, you were like, hey, Tom, this will be my first podcast.
One of my first.
One of your first podcasts. Why did you decide to come on this podcast today?
So I like I said before, is that you're so, I love your energy. And I think that, and it was great that we met at such great events. Like, for example, a place like Giving, like the Chazak organization.
Great organization.
Great organization. So nice to see you there. And then the few times that I saw you, and also your follow-up was on point. So it was very pleasant to deal with you in general. I have dozens of people asking me to be on their podcast. And I told Moshe, my right-hand man, that when we do podcasts, we're definitely jumping on to Tom. And then when you reached out, it happened to be the time that I was able to. I'm like, make sure that happens.
Everything from Hashem, as they say, right?
That's right?
Everything from God. Now, question, if you look back at your social media career, is there anything you will do differently?
Is there anything I would do differently? That's a good question. Would I do anything? So it started 4th of July, 2022, right?
Yep.
Would I do anything differently? I'm actually very happy with the way that I've done it. We've become not only a watch brokering and flipping business. We also do watch investing. We also have watch training for watches and jewelry, and we also do marketing as well. So
you
many
expanded.
great things. We're really expanding. Would I do anything differently? No, I can't think of anything I would do differently.
I love it. You're coming to a lot of people.
You know what? There's one thing, maybe.
Talk to us.
Maybe I would have worked on getting in shape before coming on, in better shape.
But you know what?
But we'll get there.
You know what I learned? First of all, there's never ever, meaning there's always a room for improvement.
Right.
And you know what the crazy is? We all can improve. It doesn't matter in what, in how, in which type of shape or form, we all can improve. I want to ask you a question. Let's talk about, what you do in the day-to-day. So how does it, talk to us about how does Ziv, the watch guy, looks like behind the scenes? Are you going to places where there's a bunch of interesting people and you're just waiting for people to stop by, or how does it work?
So it actually works out really well with me because I'm naturally always shopping. I love shopping, right? So it's like, so I'm always around luxury and things like that anyway. So A lot of the times it will be just me being around that, and then just getting videos of things during my day.
So it's not like something you prepare to do or this. You just going and walk by your day, and whenever there's opportunity, you catch it.
Right. So it's very my content is raw and unscripted. I think that's what people really love to see and learn from. And I build rapport with a lot of times the people that I get on video, they turn into customers right away.
Wow.
Yeah.
So after the video, after the clip, so you walk out, you walk to them, you do the clip. After the clip is ending, do you ask for like, hey, what's your contact, what's your phone number, or usually they just walk and live by? How does it work?
Usually it's a very fast-paced situation. Sometimes we do that if there's more time, depending. Sometimes I'm running so tight on schedule, and it happens to be that I just have 30 seconds to grab a video. Like I'll be walking on a plane or off a plane or something, and I see a watch. I'll get the video, and then I figure out how to communicate. Usually if the video goes viral, the customer knows how to find me.
Wow. Real quick, before we keep with this episode, if you are watching this and you are building a business or a brand and you got a story people need to hear, for the first time I'm opening spots for guests to join my podcast. Here is what you will get. We film the full episode in the studio and my team takes care of literally everything, the editing, the posting, all of it totally for you guys. In addition, you'll get between 3 to 5 reels from the episode, and we'll also collab together on social media so you can get even more exposure. If you want to be on, comment podcast in the comment section below and my team will reach out to you. Now let's get back to the episode. Question, is anybody you took a video of that says, I don't like that you filming me, I'm gonna sue you, or things like that?
Yeah, I get that. I got that a lot.
It happens.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, is it, just out of curiosity, is it legal? Like, is there a problem to do it, or is it not? Like, how does that work?
So my philosophy is if someone really doesn't want to be on,
you'll take it off.
I'm not gonna. But there's illegally, if there's something called a reasonable expectation of privacy. So, which is if someone does not have a reasonable expectation of privacy, they're in a public place, for example, you're allowed to take a video of them. Now, if they specifically, but me personally, I'm not gonna, I'm not looking to give anyone a hard life. Time. So, but most of the time, people are thrilled to be on. They love promoting their business.
Yeah, it's a great
some
promotion.
Some people told me that they'll go on and they'll get millions of views and they'll get so many new customers. They'll get people applying to work there.
So you're not worrying when you're getting like this message of like, oh, why would you do this, and like, or things like that?
It's sometimes it's funny because sometimes people's knee-jerk reaction is they get scared because it starts going viral. So like, for example, one time someone reached out and said, hey, take it down right now. And I wasn't even available. I didn't see any of the messages, right? And then like you see the thread of messages, he's like threatening lawsuits and things, and like no one's there to read the messages. Then like by the time I got to read the messages, he already is like saying, no, never mind, leave up the video. All my friends called, they love it. Keep it up,
crazy.
Thank you, you're the man. I want to buy a watch, I want to sell this, I want to do that. So sometimes people just need a little time to be like, okay, it's not the biggest deal, it's just a clip.
What do you see about people that you're taking your phone out and you're pulling out to them, and some people you can even see in the videos are getting like intimidated, like, oh, like
Right.
I'm not ready for that.
Right. So usually I try to calm them down and be like, sometimes thi'll even say, oh, I'm so sorry for scaring you.
And you're recording that, right?
Right.
You're still recording that.
Yeah, still recording that. And most of the time they're just like, oh, and that actually helps the video's virality.
If you were to give me a tip, I'm doing this podcast, I'm starting to bring, well-known names, but obviously I want to grow it. What would you tell me?
I would tell you is when you're on the podcast and you're speaking to the people that you bring on, try to see what you could get out of them that would really help your audience. So feel like each clip that you give, you'll be like, ooh, this just gives my audience a secret on how to do this. This gives my audience like pretty much
Everything from a help way.
Yeah, how can I help the people watching?
So everything that I ask somebody, because a lot of times I get this question, like, as you guys can see, I don't have any iPad or something. I'm not, there's no script here. And a lot of people ask me, which type of question do you ask? And I'm like, well, look, I'm just going to ask whatever I'm curious, because I guess if I'm curious, people are also curious about as
Right.
well. You know what I mean?
Like I'm sure, like if you would ask, is like Ziv, what would be the best way to reach you for other clients, right?
Yeah.
And then I would say, like, it's very easy. My cell phone number is on my website, zivthewatchguy.com. People don't realize.
That's your own cell phone?
That's my cell phone. You could text me there. I'll get it. You know what I mean? And I have other people monitoring it as well.
Oh, that's
So just
crazy.
So people could text me whether you're looking to buy, sell, trade watches or jewelry, or if you want to learn the business of buying, selling, and trading, or if you want to advertise your business. Or if you want to figure out how to sign up with shop bids or do any of that stuff, like, you could always reach out to me directly.
If you have 30 seconds, how would you make it viral? A video?
30 seconds right now. How would I make a video viral?
Yeah.
I think that I would try to get the I'll try to do something extreme, something interesting that people want to, something that shocks the conscious, or you know what I mean? So it has to be something which is why
Make curious people.
you have to because people want to learn, but people want it to be interesting. So they basically you have to have that hook to get them in, right? So, and then once you have that, then once you have that initial shock, then you also have to show that you're going to give them value.
I love it.
Well. But if you wanted to make something extremely viral, what is it that makes things go viral? You know, things that go viral are things that are useful and easy.
If people on the hook and they're well-known people like you, or they just want to promote themselves, would you tell them to come on my podcast?
Absolutely.
How was the experience?
I think the experience was impeccable from
love it.
A to Z. It was so smooth. This whole area is just absolutely stunning and a pleasure. The temperature is amazing.
Thank you so much,
good.
brother.
Smells good here.
God bless you, man.
Wow.
Ziv, I really enjoyed having you, brother.
Yeah.
I know we short on time here on time today, but thank you so much for coming on. How can people find you?
The way to find me is you can go to zivthewatchguy.com. My cell phone is directly on there. You can go to my Instagram, Google Ziv the Watch Guy. My cell phone's everywhere. So a regular SMS text is probably the best way to reach me fastest. But we're going through our WhatsApps, we're going through our texts, we're going through our direct messages on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
I love it. Well, guys, make sure to reach out to Ziv. And if you like it, make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Let me know in the comments who should I interview next. Ziv, thank you so much, brother. God bless you. I really enjoyed this time here.